Hi, I'm Wendell G. on a blustery Sunday morning. Just a insomniac with a microphone here this morning. Welcome back to the Worldtopia Baseball League. Today is Monday, August 29th. We're past the trade deadline. We had a frenzy of trade activity. Some of it sane, some of it the typical trade deadline insanity. It seemed kind of restrained to me this year, so we'll go into that in just a second. Wanted to recap the season so far. I've been notably quiet at the mic this season while my team plumbs the depths of suckitude. Amsterdam and Helsingborg sit at the top of the Northern League. Nobody's surprised there. What is surprising to me, somewhat surprising, is that Helsingborg has had one heck of a season and yet is still in second place, 6 games back of the damnation. Helsingborg's having exactly the kind of year I thought I had Moscow set up to have. They are tops in starting pitching ERA, number 3 in bullpen ERA, number 2 in runs against. That's really the main statistic there, runs against. That's what matters, scoring defense. And they are number 3 in scoring offense. And that's probably better than I would have predicted Moscow to have, but number 6 in batting average, yeah, that's a Moscow kind of a team. That's a Wendell G kind of a team right there. Strong pitching and mediocre scoring. So anyway, it's as great of a year as Helsingborg is having. Amsterdam is having a better year. The fun that has been happening this year has been happening behind those guys. We somehow have gone from contending to pretending. We're down there in the depths of the division. Dublin had a very strong start to the season, but they have moved down the charts. Istanbul has been batting near 500 most of the year, and they made some huge trades at the deadline, and those are probably the trades we'll focus on. Seoul and Vegas have been going after it for the wild card spot in the Northern League, and that's been fun to watch. And Las Vegas, man, I don't know what it is about Vegas, but the more they get injured, the more they compete. So they've got some guys out on the DL right now. Actually, not on the DL, but anyway, Vegas, man, Doe making the trades, wheeling and dealing, and it just seems to work. And also, no matter what he does, he just seems to get hurt too. Soul doing well. I really thought I'd be up there in the mix with those guys this year. In fact, I thought Vegas would be down here, and Moscow would be up there with Seoul. Amsterdam. Amsterdam's basically leading the way with run-scoring offense. They also have a strong defense, a great defense. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the Amsterdam defense. League reports. Is it there? League fielding. Yeah, here we go. Zone rating. Worst team in terms of zone rating in the league, Berlin. Istanbul has a pretty bad defense as well. Amsterdam, near the top in defense. And to me, this is one of the changes I've seen from the OU teams is an emphasis on defense. I've always thought defense was pretty cheap to fix because you can find high zone rate defenders, high range defenders for pretty cheap as long as they can't hit. But if you want both of them, it costs you. And Amsterdam has both of them this year: hitters, fielders who can play the field and hit. Helsingborg has a strong defense, as does Seoul. Of course, Seoul has their outstanding shortstop, menace Marisuke Noda. He was recently extended, or was he? I don't know, man. He's on a $6 million per year contract, and just man, dirt cheap for this guy. Incredibly cheap. A bunch of contracts were just recently extended for very, very cheap money. Totally making me have some post negotiation regrets with a few guys. Okay, where were we? Go back to here. Zone rating. So yeah, you can see Amsterdam and Helsingborg both have, they don't make a whole lot of errors. They don't give up a whole lot of runs because of mistakes. Anything else to focus on there? I guess not. Down in the South League, Australia has the greatest defense in the South League, but it hasn't helped them as much as they're way behind in the standings. Buenos also has a great defense. Cairo has a decent defense, but it seemed like the team with the worst defense in the South League is the team atop the standing. Buffalo having a fantastic year, powered by their offense. And Cairo and False Bay hanging in. All three of those are in the playoffs. And there's not a whole lot of competition. Kabul and Key West are way back there around 500. Key West has dropped off tremendously after a great start, an unexpectedly great start. So it's no real surprise they're down here. Maybe the surprise is they're not down chasing the bottom. Baton Rouge is having a historically bad year, as somebody on the boards pointed out. It might have been Osick pointed this out, that Baton Rouge is having perhaps the worst season in the history of the Worldtopia Baseball League. I don't know if that's on purpose. I do know that they just had a really bad team to start with when Really Weird took over. He hasn't had much to work with. He's made a few trades. We'll get to that in a second here. Berlin made a few trades for some offense this year. One of the trades that they made, or to have offense this year, one of the trades they made was with me, moving Bing Liu, and Bing has been perhaps my only real bright spot in Moscow, as most of my pitching has underperformed and my hitting has been non-existent. I'm fighting with some congestion this morning and just kind of insomnia, so getting ready to sip on my yerba mate, chocolate this morning, some herbal tea, sort of get the fires cranked up. Let's take a look at offense. That's fielding. Well, let's look at pitching first. Pitching next. Sort by ERA. Berlin down at the bottom. Istanbul just overhauled their rotation, and yet they were already at 500, and their offense is going to propel them up the standings. Amsterdam and Helsingborg also have the best rotations in the Northern League. Down in the South. Oops. Buffalo, despite its poor defense, Buffalo has the strongest pitching in the South, followed closely by False Bay and Australia. And the King Tuts are kind of back there too, but Australia having a really darn good year. They've got a lot of veteran, expensive pitching they just dealt, part of it to Istanbul. So we'll see how that plays out. One more thing I want to look at right quick. Complete games. False Bay's got 7 complete games this year. Helsingborg's got 8 complete games. That's outstanding. 9 shutouts. Wow, look at Buffalo. 14 shutouts. Kabul, 11 shutouts. I wonder, I guess what I wonder, Baton Rouge is 8 games worse than Berlin. I don't know. I kind of wonder just how much the Baton Rouge effect is inflating the South League stuff. It'd be nice if we had a schedule where we play each other more than, on a more even schedule. I've only played some of these South League teams a couple of games this year. So, let's see. Batting. All right, yeah, Amsterdam has got a team average 308. Buffalo team average 297. You can see why they respectively dominate their divisions. Cairo at 285. Cairo is really my Cairo and False Bay. Buffalo surprised me. I think they're ahead of schedule. Let's see, the worst teams in the league in batting. Baton Rouge, nobody surprised. Berlin, and then Moscow, Buenos. Whoa, why didn't that sort? Moscow, Australia, Buenos, and Key West. Man, we'd be all right down in the south, wouldn't we? Home runs. Is it the year of home runs? Wow, this is what's powering Istanbul's team this year is home runs. Look at that, leading the bigs in home runs. Istanbul, 227 home runs. Who leads? Jesse Haswell, Rafael Juarez, Ting Jong Zhou. Wow, Fulton, 21 years old. Oh, word. 24 years old, Ting Jong. Good night. Whew. Haswell, 24. Good night. These guys are going to get expensive one of these days. Roviva got exactly one big league start to his name. He pitched an 8-inning shutout. Outstanding, Sugar Bear. When was he drafted? What, that last year? 2043. The 1-2 pick. Sugar Bear. Wow. All right, let's I can't remember how to pause this. Let's just move over to transactions. Transaction news. Transaction log. Let's check out a few of these trades. In fact, gosh, I need to figure out how to pause my video. Hold on a minute. I need to pull up the WBL homepage.